coming up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ready to Amplify, an interview series. We're going to go dive in behind the scenes and talk to the leading ladies of the world who are stepping into a bigger spotlight. And I'm here today with Kimra Luna. And Kimra, welcome. Welcome. Kimra is a personal branding online business strategist. She helps freedom-seeking entrepreneurs to stand out and captivate their audience's attention, monetize their authentic brands online. And ladies and gentlemen, like, I met Kimra in real life. This happens, you know, sometimes years ago. And I just admired her ability to dream big, go for gold. And she's been navigating an amazing career. If you're just joining us now, Kimra, I want to share some stats that I think are pretty impressive. And I see them. I saw them on your site the other day, but quite literally, you have a personal business page that has over 65,000 fans. We have over 65,000 on your email list. We have a 45,000 person member Facebook group, Freedom Hackers, and 17,000 over on Instagram. But really, I think what is so amazing about your journey is that you've been selling and monetizing digital products and experiences with your audience, and have made over $3 million in the last 4 years, and another $1 million in affiliate commissions. Everybody, we're going to talk about collaboration. We're going to talk about community and conviction today.
Yes.
So
all the C's.
All the C's, man. I have a list of like 10 C's. They keep coming up, but we could go through them all today. But yeah, it's a journey, right? So it doesn't start, like, it's not an overnight success story. You've been doing this for a while, right? Like,
Yeah, this business has been since 2014, but I've been a business owner kind of on and off since I was 17, 18 years old. So I've always been very entrepreneurial, and it took a while to, I guess, hit the thing, like get the thing that like hit it big, so to speak. But I wasn't expecting that. I kind of just was like, I love doing this and I want to help people and serve people. And if I make, $4,000 or $5,000 a month, that would be awesome. Like I can like go on a vacation once in a while. Like I never expected it to be able to grow to 7 figures, to be able to grow to having over 5,000 students in my courses and programs. Like, that was not an expected thing, but I feel like, the only major thing I did different was I just kept showing up over and over and over. And a lot of people, I think they give up so quickly, even though they're talented and skilled and have the ability. But I was just like, I'm just going to keep showing up. And I wanted to make enough money to hire a nanny. So, I did have, that was my, then that became a goal, because after I started my business, I became pregnant with my third son. And I was like, well, I can't keep running a business if I don't have a nanny, right? So, that became like my next goal. And so I was like, okay, I got to make at least like a few $100,000 a year, to have like a full-time nanny and that sort of stuff. So then the goals did start progressing. But in the very beginning, I was just like, yeah, if I make a little bit extra money where I can, go on a vacation once in a while, I'll be fine, And now I'm still that way. I still am not like some splurger or anything like that. I just really wanted to be able to have some freedom.
I think that's, something you said there, like the freedom piece, but also the ability to show up and serve. And I think that when we were talking before we went live, like just that process of like, you weren't aiming to make millions. It wasn't about the money. It was about showing up and really empowering your audience and the community. And I think that shows in just the growth of the numbers and the commitments and just getting out there and leading with your heart on your sleeve sometimes.
Yes. And it's different. Yeah. When you're a personal brand, I mean, it's different than selling software, like a software service, like when you're a personal brand, yeah, your heart is on your sleeve. People are really getting to know you as a person. And I think sometimes that can be scary for people and make it harder for them to show up and speak their truth and be, and be really present with their audience and with their message. But I think it's just so important to remember, like, it's not really about you. It's about who you're serving. And, you never know who needs to hear that message that's going to come out of your mouth. You never know. The random Instagram messages I get and things like that, I'm just like, wow, like, I can't believe, like, people will just be like, I've been following you for so many years. You've inspired me in this sorts of ways. You helped me do this and that. And I'm just like, I have no clue who you are, you know, but thank you for sending me a message. Like that's wonderful. And so you never know who's watching. And this was happening to me even before I even had this current business, just from having a personal Facebook account, you know, people would say things like that to me. So I think that I've always just kept showing up and kept sharing my message. And that's really the only thing that's makes me different than other people, is like just kept on coming. You know?
Yeah, you never looked back. And I think the other thing you're mentioning too is that I believe that you're responding for the most part like to the people that are connecting with you. So you're answering your comments, you're responding to messages. Like there's no layer. Like you're connecting, right? And you're genuinely there for the people. So tell me a little bit, because I know for some of us that step into the spotlight and that growth can be intimidating, especially like with the technology, notifications, and just being seen so much, right? And I can imagine it would. Does it create some anxiety around like just showing up and that responsibility, or like how do you navigate the responsibility, or do you see it as a responsibility? Like, I know you do, because
I see my platform as a responsibility, because that's what leadership is. I think that a lot of people, they just want to grow this big platform just to like make money. But I see it as like the things that you say matter when you have a platform. I mean, look at what Taylor Swift did. You know, it's like she made one post and was telling people to vote, and like all of these people registered to vote just from one post, you know? So when you have a following, you have people who listen to you, even if it's 50 people, you still have a responsibility of what you are sharing and what you're putting out into the world. So sometimes it can create a lot of anxiety for me, actually, because I really want to be doing good in the world, you know? And I think that when people are in leadership positions, they all feel this. And if they don't, then I don't know what's wrong with them. But like, I think we all kind of get the anxiety of like, we want to do good in the world. What can we put out there where people are leaving our platform? Like they come to our page and they feel empowered in some way, or inspired, or they feel better, that they're growing in some way, or something good or positive is happening for them. You know, it's not just about like making $1, because not every single one of my posts is promoting something of mine. You know, I'm just sharing stories and things. And so I think we have to remember we are in a leadership role, and that can be very scary, especially as women of color or LGBTQ. It could be we're really kind of taught and ingrained in society like we're not supposed to stand up. Oh, who are you to speak up? Oh, who do you think you are? You think you're Miss blah blah blah. Like, you know, like we have these things that are said to us our whole entire lives, our whole entire childhood. Like we're supposed to be these timid things that just like don't speak out. And now it's kind of starting to reverse. It's like the flip side now. Now it's like the top YouTube channels are, you know, LGBTQ ran YouTube channels. Those are the people that are having the biggest message and the biggest voice. And so things are really shifting. You know, women are having a huge voice. I mean, and especially now, you know, with, you know, in Congress and in the Senate, and like so many women and LGBTQ and people of color being voted in. I mean, it's really like there is massive change happening. If it's happening at the government level, of course it's happening at the business level. Of course, it's happening. Yes, it's happening everywhere, you know. And so, and it makes me really grateful to be around in this time. I think a lot of people are kind of like, oh, like the world sucks right now. But I think we're in a time of a lot of awakening, a lot of awareness, and leaders and people who, you know, would call themselves influencers, like, oh, Instagram influencers or YouTube influencers or whatever. Like, we are actually able to create change more rapidly. I mean, think about, they had like the ice bucket challenge. I mean, all these things that can like go viral on the internet and create change. And, you know, I think that's, to me, it just makes me really excited that I am able to do that now. Because that's all I've ever wanted to do. My first blog was a humanitarian blog.
Love it.
And, and that was like in, 2004. You know, my first ever blog, you know, so it's like I've always just wanted to help and serve. And now it's like the point where I can, not only financially, but also with my message that I'm sharing out into the world, it's able to help and serve people too. It's so powerful. And then they're inspired to help and serve people. and they're inspired to become a leader. And that, like, so it all just has like this ripple effect, and it's really, really quite incredible to be in this day and age where we're capable of doing that because of social media, because of technology, because of live streaming, because of podcasts, because of, you know, all these amazing platforms that we can really share and help and serve others.
Oh, it's just brilliant. And I think that what a lot of the viewers, that if you're watching on hashtag replay or live with us now, I think at the end of the day, when you're trying and wanting to make an impact, we have to lead with that first, and because the technology can be intimidating, the visibility pieces, sometimes we don't feel like showing up live. And I'm curious, Kimra, I was chatting with a few of the other women in the series, and many of them shared with me that they were like introvert extroverts, like they, I think you may be an introvert extrovert. I'm not sure. Is there another like omnivert?
Yeah, I'm actually very introverted. I'm the person who I can literally just never leave my apartment and pretty much be perfectly fine. So I like to just stay in and be with myself. I'm also an artist and a creative, and I like to think and be in my thoughts. But I can present as extroverted, I guess is like what it is. Like I can get on camera and be an extrovert in that moment. I can go on stage. I can meet people, network at events. However, even when I go to networking events, I'm still usually the person that's kind of hiding in the corner. But I can still do it, and I can still go because I know the importance of having an impact on people and building relationships and building collaborations, which is something I know we wanted to talk about today. Like building those relationships has been so important for me. One of the reasons why I moved to New York City was so I could build more relationships, build collaborations, connect with artists and creatives, and people just have a different sort of energy than where I was living in like suburbia in California. So I was just like, no, I need like I need a different crowd, and so I moved to the city, and in the city you can pretty much find any of your, there's all the pockets of everything, so you can always find your group, and so I've been able to do that, and that's been really, really important for me. So
in your journey, yeah. Well, I think too, like I think in behind the scenes, like you're growing your business, but you're also navigating health and family and new baby and, and relationship changes going along the way. And I think, your tribe, your community, it's real. Like it can be a very isolating and lonely journey, I think, to the top and along the way. Like even if you're struggling in the, in the gutter, like it's like, it can be like when you have a dream and maybe nobody else understands that dream, like it's a struggle for some, right? And I think that when you show up online and you speak your message, like you're just giving all the people watching like that hope that, okay, I get it, but I need to connect. You're relatable, you're authentic. Like, so people self-identify. And that's, I think, we will talk about collaboration, but I think too, like you lead with community first. I think like you are very inclusive. And I think that your approach and strategy is around making people feel welcome. Right?
And that's really important to me. I feel like, as a kid, I was the outcast kid. I was raised in a very abusive home. I didn't know how to communicate, connect, build relationships or friendships at all. I remember there was one girl when I was maybe like in third or fourth grade, like her dad, I don't remember, her dad like gave me like some cookies or something like that. And I didn't say thank you. But the thing is I didn't know that I was supposed to, because in my home, everybody was just a bunch of jerks to each other. So like, I didn't know like how to be social, like at all. And so I really had to learn this. I had to start reading books. I had to start, like figuring out like, how do I build relationships? How do I connect? Sorry, I had to fix the baby's diaper. He was like diaper. But like, I had to really learn how to have relationships with people. And that was really big struggle, and as a kid, like I felt like I didn't have a tribe. I felt like I wasn't accepted or taught or into any groups of kids at school. It was kind of like I was just like the loner. And then finally, when I became a teenager, I got into like punk rock. And so like I hung out with a lot of skaters and a lot of punks and all these things. And so that's something that really, I feel like I finally started feeling that tribal community that I needed. And then I got straight into like booking concerts like right after high school. And that was, again, it was all about community. And so it's kind of like community is what helped me finally have freedom to be myself and be who I am. And so I'm wanting to facilitate that for others so they can feel like they can be who they are. And because to me, I feel like that's just so important. A lot of us don't know who we are. We lose our identities and all of this crap that's, the media is throwing at us and what our family's throwing at us and like what friends and peer pressure and all this stuff where like we get like, I mean, even as a mother, it's like we just become a mother and then we have like no other identity, And so it can get really hard to be a person who's like, oh, well, I really want to start a business. I want to start, serve others. But then when you don't know who you are, I think that could be more difficult. It's more challenging,
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I've had a history of kind of identifying with whatever I'm doing in my career. Like I just kind of geek out and I get really obsessed. So I have great months. I have some bad months. And so my identity kind of goes up and down with those, like, even as a mom, like if I don't get those dishes done every night of the week, I kind of feel like really crappy because I'm like, God, like this is my job. Like I'm supposed to be doing this. And so I think there's this element of the journey of that self evolution and self-worth, even like your worth is not attached to who you are as like the role you play, but like how you do it and how you show up. And I think one of those things that both you and I resonate with and which I think is just amazing is conviction, right? And having for me, that was the breaking point of like when you show up and you like believe so much in what you have to offer that you're just like, everybody needs this, or this person specifically needs this, and you want them to experience it, and that brings you joy. And so tell me a little bit about like, because I remember just before these explosive launches that you had, I mean, you had that conviction from day one, like ever since I met you. And where did that come from? Or how did you develop that? Or was that just like pure, like, like everything?
I think just with everything I've been through in my life, like nothing can disappoint me anymore. It's like I have gone through freaking hell and back. Like my whole childhood, my family disappointed me every day of my life. So I was just like, whatever. Like if I fail, I fail. Like who cares? I'm just going to go back on welfare again. Whatever. Like I won't starve, I guess. I'll be fine. I had nothing else to fall back on, but I was just like, I'm just going to do it. And I remember like I've had so many different like clients and people who like, they're hosting a webinar, or they're making a video, or they're doing a live stream, and I'll watch the playback and I'm like, I don't hear conviction coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
How am I going to believe your message? I'm like, your message is freaking great. You are amazing. Like your message is going to change the freaking world, but you don't have any conviction behind it. So I don't believe your message.
Right. And it's almost like you have more conviction than they do.
Yes, like, exactly. And I'm just I'm like, can I inject conviction into you? Like, please, like take some of my conviction and like put it in your messaging and put it in your videos and put it in your live streams. And I feel like and I was saying earlier, like without conviction, you really have nothing. No one's going to want to work with you if you don't have conviction on what you do and how you can serve people, right? And some people say like, oh, well, I don't have a degree. I don't have a certification, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't matter. I don't have a degree in nothing. I have no business degree, no marketing degree or anything like that, yet people will pay me $4,000 a month to do coaching with me, and I don't have a business degree. And I'm also not even a very good salesperson either. And it's because I have conviction and beliefs, and I know without a shadow of a doubt the results that I can get for the person. Right. And when you have that knowingness, that conviction, it resonates through all of your messaging. It resonates like if you're writing an email to your small list of email subscribers and you don't have conviction when you wrote that email, no one's going to open the freaking email. No one's going to click on any of the links, and no one's going to buy a dang thing from you. No one's going to click a thing to book in a call. Like, they're just not.
True.
It's like an energy. It's an energy,
I love it.
And if you can't put that conviction energy into your work and what you're doing and how you promote yourself and present yourself online, like everything's just going to fall apart. You have to believe in it. You have to believe in yourself. Like, and there's a book it's called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. It's a really, really short book. It's really good. It only take you like a few hours to read it. And it talks all about just like self-love, loving yourself to the point where you're just like, you know what, like, I have amazing skills, I have amazing gifts, I have amazing talents, I am unique, and I have something that I can give to the world. So I highly recommend that book. It's super simple. I usually just read it, you know, whenever I'm just like, okay, I need like a boost of energy, like I'll just read it, you know. But I really feel like conviction is something that not enough people talk about, especially in the personal branding space. And I want to do like a whole entire video series like just on conviction, because I'm like so like kind of into this word right now, and I think that it's time for me to talk about it more.
Well, it is. It's a missing ingredient, right? And I don't think people are talking about it, but also I think that it can be a tipping point for people. Like once they figure it out, it's like pretty energetic. I think that if you're taught to, you know, you can follow these step-by-step marketing plans and the formulas, but if you lack that conviction, it will not work. And I think that's the key there. Like it's almost the secret sauce or the not so secret sauce. And we were talking earlier about energy, but also manifesting, you know, the community around you and the support. And I think there was something very interesting you said about how you're attracting, you know, the clients and the people that support you and our beliefs around that. And if you have a belief where, you know, like, I don't know if people are going to, you know, follow me, or I'm not a good enough leader, or, you know, instead it's like, I am a leader, or I deserve this, you know, I deserve an amazing partner, for example.
Yeah. So for myself, you know, I did have some struggles with that, especially after my separation from my husband. So we separated in June of last year. And, you know, he was a person who believed in me. You know, he definitely did. He definitely was like, yeah, you know, Kimra could do it. She could do whatever she wants to do. She's going to achieve anything she wants. You know, like he definitely believed in me. But then to like not have that energy, and then to go out into like the dating world, and I started dating this guy, and I came to this discovery that I had a belief that he wouldn't support me in my business. And it was very odd, but I had to just flip that immediately, because I was just like, I deserve a person that's going to support me in my business. I deserve a person who wants to see me win. I deserve a person who wants to cheer me on. And whether it's people you're dating or your husband or wife, or whether it's just supportive friends and family members, like we need to be seeking these supportive people out, because you can't do it all on your own. You know, it takes a village, is, you know, like the phrase, because it really does. You know, you got to have a support system, because there are months where it's just like, oh my gosh, like there is zero money this month. Like, how the hell did this happen? Like, oh my gosh, I have a big tax bill I have to pay. Like, what the hell, you know, like I don't want to pay the IRS all this money, you know, like, but I got to do it, you know? So it's, you know, so it's like, you never know when something's going to happen. Maybe someone gets sick. I mean, my youngest son got diagnosed with autism. My oldest son, he has like medication. His medication is $700 a month, you know? So it's like, you know, so it's like, you never know when something's going to pop up into your life, you know, and that's like a monthly expense, you know? So it's like, that's like a car payment, you know, like, you know, so, you know, you never know when something else is going to pop up into your life. And so we need to have support systems and people around us, or surrounding us, who we're collaborating with, who we're building relationships with, whether it's business relationships or just even friendships. So you feel like you're not lonely in the world. A lot of people say, you know, as adults, it can be hard to make friends. And that is very true. It is very hard to make friends as adults in comparison to when you're a little kid at the park and you're just like, hey, you want to be my friend? And they're like, yeah. And then
let's run.
You're best friends, you know, for like a whole day. And then you're like, okay, see you later. Bye. You know, it's like, so it's so different. And so, yeah, I highly recommend getting out there, going to meetup groups, going to groups of people that have similar belief systems as you. You have to get inside of these spaces so that you feel like you have support when there is a tough time, because entrepreneurship is not a straight uphill thing. Like it is it is like you're off-roading in the middle of the jungle, you know, like you're like, what is happening? And there's trees everywhere and you're dodging everything, and you're like, and you're having to make decision after decision after decision. Like my Slack thing, like on Slack, you could put like your what your
status.
Yeah, my status. It says indecision fatigue with like a little bit. Like that's like my status, like 100% of the time. Like I'm all like, it's like there's so many decisions in business, and we need to be able to have a support people, so we could just be like, okay, I need to just relax my brain. I could go with my girlfriends, have a good time, go hang out, go go dancing or whatever I need to do, and then recharge and like come back and then get back into decision fatigue again. Because it starts over every day for me. It just starts over again. But it's something that happens, as your business grows, the more decisions you're making. Do I do this or do I do that? Should I do this live stream or should I do this podcast? Should I do this thing or this? Like, it's always every single day. And so we have to be able to have that support system so we can stay clear-headed and we can feel just great that we know, like, okay, if I make one thing, like if I make one wrong turn, I can always turn back the other way and reroute to where I need to go. It's like, it's GPS, like you make a wrong turn, it just reroutes you, and that's like business. It's like you make a wrong turn. Oh, well, reroute. Like, what's this other route going to take us on? It's always another shift.
I love it. And you mentioned too, like making decisions and in collaboration, and you have a new program coming out for next year, but already taking enrollment. And I love that you're collaborating with some leading ladies. And I'm wondering, and this is called the Endless
Traffic Mastermind.
How do you make decisions about the people you collaborate with? Because that's important, because the people you recommend, the people you refer, the people you collaborate with, that represents your brand too.
Yes.
Do you work with them first? Are you like, what's your vetting system?
For us, so we kind of tested out something first before we did like this big, huge like program.
Nice.
And kind of just wanted to see how that went and saw like what results people were going to get from that. So we did kind of do like a little bit of a test, because I knew that they're going to be people I'm going to be working with for like a whole year, because our mastermind is a year long. So it's like, you gotta really want to really collab with these people if you're going to be working with them a whole year long. Right. So we did have to, test out some things, but obviously I went and looked at what their clients' results were. I went and looked at, what other people were saying about them, like how strong their brand was, what people were talking about, it's like, oh, what are people really saying about Amanda and Jody? Like what's, you know what I mean? So it's like, I kind of looked into that and I'm just like, you know what, like they have a great reputation and I really feel like they can really expand my brand and my business and we can create something really beautiful for people, something I'd never done before. I've never done a year-long mastermind. We're having 2 retreats that go with it. We're building out funnels. We're like doing all this stuff like I've actually never done. And so it's exciting for me. So, but we'll see how it goes. We have like 9 people signed up already. So, we're super excited for it. It'd be really great if we had like 20 people, maybe even 30, but it's going to be really super fun. And a lot of times it's more just the energy of what I feel, like there is like, cause like in December, so there's someone's program I really wanted to promote in December, but somebody was feeling off to me. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to promote somebody else's program in December, because like I normally don't promote a lot of my own stuff in the month of December, because it's like around the holidays and I kind of just like want to just relax. And so with the kids and stuff, it makes sense. So I like to just kind of chill with the kids and stuff. So I picked somebody else's program to promote. And then when I thought about it, I was like, wow, that's so much more aligned with me. That's so much more aligned with my audience. I feel like it's going to be something they really, truly want and desire. I feel it's really going to serve them. The persons who are promoting, that gets amazing results for her customers and clients. So I feel confident in it. And I think you can just feel that. Like if you're doing something and you don't feel confident in it to like as maybe a collaboration or something to promote to your audience, you can just tell. Like it's really just a feeling for me. And I think some people don't like it when it's not like an exact strategy. And here's a little framework on how to pick a collaborator, like there isn't a framework. It's how you feel and the connection you have like with that person. And can you have conviction in their product or service?
Oh, huge. And,
right?
I think like we do have a bit of a framework, because you're talking about the gut, right? And listening to that voice inside of us. And I think so many times we kind of push that down and don't really give it the credit it deserves. And I think what you just said is a system.
Yeah, my whole business is ran off of intuition, and so sometimes it's kind of like, and I even need coaches to be sure, really like, Kimra, how does that feel to you? You know, and when they say that, I'm just like, okay. Like, how does that really feel? Like, okay, that feels off. Like, let's scratch that. Let's move this direction, you know? And so I really feel like developing that business intuition is really important. And not everybody really talks about that. But I think that it is really crucial. And it's been so important for my personal success because I've been able to collaborate with some amazing people because of it. And some people, it's not like, oh, I'm just trying to go after huge people, giant followings to collaborate with. No, like I'll collaborate with people that don't even have a program out, you know, like I'm just like, hey, like, let's make a program together, you know, like let's me and you build something, you know, and I don't care how many followers you have. If I feel like I'm in alignment with that, then I'm going to do it.
I love it. I love that. And, you know, you shared so much light on this journey, and I don't know if you realize how powerful that is, but I want to thank you. I know we like to do the power half hour and keep it. I always like to deliver on that, but I just want to thank you. I think that I'm on a journey myself. I don't know how many times I've tried to tell people, like, I wrote a book, you know, in the last, like, it launched like November 1st. And I've been even like, you know, it's a whole thing. Like when you up level to kind of get it out there, Ready to Amplify is the name of the book at leightfowler.com/book. But the whole idea there is stepping into a bigger spotlight and join me on that journey, because I know for all of us, like you said, like more decisions, more levels, like new level, new devil, you know, it's like, I'm like, oh my God, I help people.
For me, it's like, there's it's like every time you get to this new level, there's always something else you have to like conquer. It's like, it's like this never, but it keeps it fun, I guess, you know, and I'm going to do a live stream, I think next week, on like how to keep your business fun, even when things are like terrifying.
Yes,
because, like, you know, like I feel like every level you get to, it's like you have to see it as a fun adventure, as a game, you know, and if we can gamify like in our own business, like then we're gonna win. And like even if it's whether it's promoting your book or whether it's promoting anything, your podcast, anything, you know, it's so important, because sometimes it can be really, really scary. I mean, honestly, there are days where I'm just like, man, this is scary. This is a scary day. Like I don't. Right? I've had it where, you know, I had already dropped, you know, $20,000 on Facebook ads and hadn't even made any money back yet. You know, and I'm just like, is the money going to come back? Like, you know, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, it's flooding in. Okay, great.
It's working.
But still, like at that moment, you're like, you know, and sometimes that anxiety can get really strong, especially if you're someone with, you know, PTSD or actually has clinical anxiety and things like that. Like, man, it could get really rough. But, you know, I really think that it's okay to make it playful, make it light, make it fun. And business doesn't have to be so freaking serious all the time. And that's me preaching to myself, because I'm a very serious person. So,
I love it. I know sometimes we have to say it out loud. Like, I think it's crazy.
I'm a very serious person, but I got to coach myself in that, you know, and making it more fun.
I love it. I love it. And I think that's the thing, like as service-based entrepreneurs, we're used to being behind the scenes and serving our audience. And so I think this process for me too, like I help people launch their books and I help people leverage their launches. But when I'm doing it and it's like, look at me, this is like a whole other level. So I love sharing the journey behind that. It happens at all levels. You know, we've shared some links in the comments during the talk where people can connect with you, Kimra, and continue following your journey. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for hanging out, and your kids too for supporting you there with you.
Yeah, it's serious.
Oh yeah.
He's on his iPad.
Man, my iPad keeps going missing from my little guy. Like, I mean, it's a new world and there's so much opportunity. And I just love that we talked today. I want to wish you a brand new, you know, great success coming into 2019 and lots of love and kisses.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and yes, thank you for having me. And anybody that's watching the replay, of course, hit me up, come follow me. I really hope that you guys want to, you know, continue on this journey with me.
Yes. And let's, if you're doing that live stream next week about fun, like let us know, maybe pop back in the comments, or I'll remind you, because I think having fun is where it's at. And especially if you're running your own business, right? Because I think we forget to do that. So thanks again and have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.